And welcome back, everybody. Coverage of the 10-set LPL Summer here, week 4, day 3. In our second game here is Young Glory on the left, take on Positive Energy on the right. My name is Pastry Shome. I'm going to be joined by Papa Smithy. Papa, how you doing, man? It's been a great LPL so far.
It's been great so far, Pastry Time, and I'm intrigued by this game as Young Glory. They probably would have felt a chance of picking up a big scalp yesterday and taking down Invictus Gaming, who've been on quite the run of losses, but they tried some new things. They tried the Aatrox top, which we haven't seen in the LPL yet, but they couldn't get it done. And Invictus Gaming, and in particular, that DPS Shen from our friend PDD was just too strong. Now they come up against the team that's probably been just so solid this split, Positive Energy. They've looked fantastic, and they've shown a lot of range and a lot of confidence in playing even 2 damage threat comps just to their complete and utter maximum. And wow. Are they going to get Twitch here at second pick?
Yeah, I was going to say, we saw him banned in the first game here for today, and I thought we might see it again, or at least first pick here for YG, but instead can actually get Lee Sin here as the first pick for Young Glory, and going to give Twitch Sona over to Positive Energy.
Twitch Sona just does everything, Patient Time, especially in the early game. Like, if you can get a power chord down and Twitch can get a few autos into Expunge, that's often a kill, which is crazy thinking that AD carries often carry that barrier as well, so... Man, that's quite the bot lane to answer here. But it looks like maybe we'll see the robot to counter this lane.
Yeah, I mean, as I said in the last game, I think we often see Vayne picked up as a counter to Twitch, or maybe I said it yesterday. I'm struggling to remember now. And Blitzcrank, of course, in here as well. They can maybe pick off someone like Sona, who's very squishy, and if you can catch Twitch out of position, it's great. Even someone like Lee Sin, when you're ganking, although they pick up Nami, of course, just to make me look silly, but... Even someone like Lee Sin, I think, is a champion that's really good at trying to shut down Twitch early from the jungle. It's just a matter of, can you actually shut him down? Because if you can't, you usually run into a lot of problems here. And some spicy picks here coming out from Positive Energy. Whoa! From Xerath to Victor to Renekton and Vladimir.
It's worth knowing that Lissandra is open here for JoJo. Played such an amazing Lissandra last game. But Lissandra mid, something we haven't seen much in the LPL. Played to a T there. Still available, but they just go ahead and pick the jungle pick. And of course, Jing was monstrous on that jungle Xin Zhao yesterday. And the Renekton, who's actually seeing a resurgence in play once again. Less double AP, because Renekton seems to be seeing a lot of play.
Yeah, nice to see Renekton. I mean, he's just a good, solid champion. Pretty much always has a reasonable time in lane. Favourable for the most part across the board, and just in general can usually just happily sit and farm. Fine in a 1v2 as well. And I think probably most importantly in comps like this, a good way to protect your Twitch fairly safely. Yes, you can protect them with double AP and just get in and try and CC the enemy to the point where your AD carries just free hitting, but it's a little safer to have a nice tanky front line. And I mean, it seems to... I mean, Positive Energy have played a lot of different ways already, but it seems like they prefer to have big tanky front lines and let their damage threats do the talking in terms of team fight.
And I would not be surprised at all to see a Kassadin last pick against the fact that they've taken away that pick there. But Orianna's the final lock here, and of course JoJo's played some amazing Orianna. Again, the Lissandra matchup in mid is not one I'm familiar with, but it should be interesting here.
Yeah, I'm going to have a Jarvan as the jungle there as well. Nope, never mind, he's top lane. Season's actually going to take Lee Sin, of course, into the jungle there with Vayne Nami for the duo and Lissandra there in mid. I have to agree with you, I think Kassadin would have been nice, but I actually really like Orianna here, mainly because, as you said, JoJo's Orianna, last time we saw it, just looked amazing. And this particular setup with the 2 damage threat they've got, see, with Orianna and with Twitch, seems... something that Positive Energy are just so comfortable with. I mean,
it's quite reminiscent of that comp they ran against World Elite, where they had the Karthus instead of the Orianna, but they were all about controlling space for Name to excel on Twitch. And excelling is maybe cutting, just maybe underplaying just how well Name has been playing on Twitch. This is the Twitch that has gone multiple games with 10-1, 8-1, those sort of scores. Name has been playing just amazingly in the AD carry position, and Twitch has been his weapon of choice most of the time.
Yeah, I mean, and of course everyone's been playing Twitch, but Name's really been making it look good, and we'll see if he can do it once again here. Twitch, I believe, did not lose at all yesterday when he was picked.
4 out of 4.
So he's doing well so far. Actually, no, he's not. He got banned in the last game, so we'll see if he can make an appearance here and pick up a win for Positive Energy.
Being banned is still a sign of strength, isn't it?
Absolutely, I think so too, and I'm honestly surprised that isn't starting to happen sooner, and maybe through the rest of the day we'll see some more bans, but I think come next week Twitch is going to have a bit more of a target on his head, at least for these teams.
I mean, next week's going to be a whole new can of worms, though, Pastry Time, with that 3.10 dropping.
That's true. I mean, a lot of what we're seeing here in these first 2 weeks of the LPL, week 3 and 4 that we've been covering, certainly 3.10 will change a lot of that. I mean, even a team like OMG, I have to think, like, how are they going to play on 3.10? They'll feel so different, I feel like.
Absolutely, and there's subtle balance changes. You know, maybe Kassadin will be even more of a popular pick just because you can't power push down his turret just as early. Like, there's lots of little things. I mean, Spirit Visage is a huge buff, so maybe we'll see Dr. Mundo a bit more just because he synergizes so well with that item. There's lots of little things, a lot of developments, and it just reminds me of when we finally hit Season 3 and we got to see how Korea and China could play on the Season 3 jungle. It's kind of a new game, a new ball game once again.
Yeah, I mean, the theme of basically the first week 3 and 4 for the LPL has been, you know, get a kill, take an objective, and that could be potentially a little harder in the early game, especially when that drops. But of course, we are still on 3.9 here for these games. The buffs are about to spawn here for both these junglers, and there's the one pops up for Jing. Red buff's going to get started there, and looks like we are going to have 2 top and 2 bottom, so 2v1s in either side here.
Yeah, and this is the traditional Asian meta of purple sending 2 top just so they can open up dragon control if they can get the quick turret push. So all makes sense so far, and Lissandra versus Orianna is our mid-lane matchup.
Yep, so Yancer here up against Jojo in the mid. Again, kind of a curious one. Both have low cooldown AoE spells that they can spam early on, just trade back and forth there. You can see Command Attack going to trade with that Ice Shot. Jing actually looking very aggressive, going to go straight in there. So much damage from that Xin Zhao. Flashes forward as well. One last hit in there, and that should maybe be the kill. Not quite. Red buff almost enough to pick it up there for Xin Zhao, but very, very aggressive there, level 2 gang from Xin Zhao. And we haven't seen it for a while, but Xin, man, he does that well.
Absolutely, his early damage, especially with the Doran's Blade start here, just so strong. I mean, he could have gone for the trade kill there, but he decided to back away. I guess maybe to maintain that red buff to keep his early pressure just so strong, so through the roof, but interesting.
He's got a pink ward here as well, so I'm curious to see if he's looking to try and set up a gank somewhere for the next time around. He may go pick up another buff and go from there, but that was a brutal looking gank there on that Lissandra. I mean, Yancer completely out of summoners now. Looks like in the bottom lane. K9's actually taking quite a bit of damage here. Dragon a good bit of poke there in Vayne. The Silver Bolt is going to proc itself away, and you have to be careful. I mean, Vayne Nami, as we said, kind of a weak lane in a 2v2 spot. Everyone in a 1v2 kind of feels a little bit behind, you know, because obviously there's an extra champion there. And one thing about Vayne, her standing DPS has always been great. If you get bubbled up, you're usually taking the maximum amount of damage. And looks like they're going for the dive, in fact, down the bottom as well. Ebenfall used there as well. K9 flashing forward there, but the damage in from Dragon. The Ignite used there as well. The barrier pop, and a good amount of damage there will be enough as Nami picks that one up, but the trade will come out there. Little too far forward for Lacro. Actually gets executed there. Now Jing being chased through the jungle. Young Glory sits there very, very low as Lissandra's trying to make it happen, but he's over the top there. Sika forced to flash in there as well. And a lot of trading back and forth there, but on the board, Young Glory twice there, as Nami did die, but managed to execute under the turret.
You know, the execute, very, very fortunate there. I thought for sure she'd been hit by a spell previous to that, but I guess one of Renekton's Qs just wasn't in range. I do like the lane swap here from a positive energy side, just because Jarvan's a 1v1 specialist. You know, he's really strong from level 2 onwards if he can get EQ auto trades in to proc that passive, but in a 2v2 situation, much less likely to go in aggressive without the jungle pressure.
And last time we saw Jing on Xin Zhao, we saw him getting aggressive and moving through and really just trying to take buffs aggressively. I'm very, very impressed that YG managed to come out on top despite only having one champion towards the top and not 2.
Yeah, we've seen more trading in the mid lane here. Yancer finally has the E ability available here, so is a lot safer than he was at level 1, where he just had to bear the brunt of all that Xin Zhao damage.
Gets out of the way from Orianna there as well, but Jojo continuing to play aggressively there in the mid after that initial gank attempt, able to still have that flash up and really push into this. Lissandra force her back once again towards the turret, as Otto here in the top lane, just trying to do what he can here. His tower hasn't taken too much damage, so he's doing pretty nicely, but obviously going to struggle here a little, although compared to Renekton, doing very nicely actually, double the CS of K9's there.
And Doran's shield openings from both of them, so just, yeah, farming up a storm. He has that ranged wave clear, does Jarvan, and that does help him in a 1v2 situation.
Able to shake off a decent amount of that damage as well. The tower a little lower now as positive energy push that top tower down to about a third of its health left here, so looking to try and get that first tower down as soon as they possibly can. Down the bottom here for YG. See if things are getting any better. Renekton already forced back once there after getting himself first blooded. I have to think that both these towers on either side of the map are going to fall pretty quickly here. Sizz is actually up in the top trying to shake some things off. Love Crybo with Ebb and Flow. Just a little bit of poke here back and forth. Tycall's Blessing as well. Very annoying with Vayne there. Now I'm actually looking for the tower. The one last hit should come out here. Sizz now could be in trouble, but it's not too bad. He just takes a bit of the slow there from the Venom cast. Bottom tower falls now down as well. And looks like both teams are going to trade at about the same time.
Yeah, I'll look to see if Twitch and Sona rotate back straight away, or whether they just stay in the lane a bit here. Lee Sin going aggressive.
Yeah, Name revealed Sika in trouble there. Good Q there from Sizz to clean that one up. And that's what I was saying. One of the nice things about Lee Sin when you're ganking Twitch is you can actually make sure you see him out of ambush, and a little bit too far extended there for positive energy. That tower goes down, but Jarvan was back in lane, and a very nice 2v2 there in the top for YG.
And although jungle Lee Sin won't be killing a Twitch in team fights, the ability to cripple his attack and move speed and reveal him, as you point out, just as strong in late game as it is early.
And of course, if you can do the insect level Lee Sin, he can just kick him back in
True.
and initiate that way as well. So even something like kicking Renekton out of the fight, or even someone like Xin Zhao is probably quite relevant as well. I mean, you talk about Orianna and how she needs a ball carrier, displacing them with Lee Sin's ultimate could actually be quite relevant in the team fight. And now I think Ringfrost's going to come out here. Glove Crybo, a great Aqua Prison. They condemn it to the wall as well. Here's Jojo. Going to take a little bit of damage, but Orianna okay for now. I have to say though, YG just looking very, very strong here in this early game. 3-0 up already here.
It's some really, really strong skirmishing, which, with that Xin Zhao pick, we thought the skirmish advantage would be with positive energy, but not quite so far.
And I think we can kind of see why Sizz wanted Lee Sin so badly here. I mean, they first picked it over potential champions that I think a lot of teams would have happily snapped up in that
especially pastry time.
Absolutely, but instead, no, Sizz is like, I'm confident in my Lee Sin, I want this champion, and Sizz has done work so far and lead 2-0-0 actually with double Doran's Blade. Now going to do a 7-minute dragon, or 7.5-minute dragon for his team. And all of a sudden, Young Gloria, the team that just earlier this weekend, I believe, took a great game there as K9s is now in trouble. Condemned coming through there for Renekton. The Frozen Tomb in there as well. And that's probably a kill there as Lissandra cleans up with E. And just the movement for YG so good here in these spots. They've just got so many good ways to pick off. Cataclysm in there as well. Jojo very much trapped in amongst that one. Sizz gets in there to kick Orianna in the face. And there's the flash forward to pick up Sika as well. YG just completely cleaning PE up here. 6-0 already.
And curiously, I mean, Name went straight back top after they already had the turret down there, which, for that Twitch, I mean, he's now opening up a nice 20 CS advantage over Vayne, but 6-0, a dragon down, so many objectives picked up from YG here. Name certainly not worried about grouping at this point.
And this was not the positive energy we saw that were almost effortlessly outplaying World Elite. This is very scattered, very shaky here in the early game, and YG very impressive here for the opening game of day 3. I mean, the gold lead very solid here, 3,500 gold already as we tick up towards the 9-minute mark.
And Name hasn't been in the fight space to time. He's been the one that's been the real MVP of this positive energy side in the last couple of weeks, but he's been quietly farming, and of course, I mean, Twitch with farm is a very scary thing, but you can only afford to drop objectives for so long before the weight of the global gold really starts to get to your team. And
I think that that's basically YG's plan here in this game. You know, they've got, I guess, kind of an insurance policy with Vayne Nami, but Nami's really good at picking people off, Lissandra's really good at picking people off, and so are Jarvan and Lee Sin. If YG are going to take this game against the Twitch, you have to really do the damage early, and they've done that here. It's just a matter of continuing on and really putting the pressure on where it counts. So, honestly, I'll predict that if YG are going to win this game, they're going to make it as quick as they possibly can.
And that's a weird thing to have to kind of secure before that 30-minute period, but you're right, their spike in power is now when you got the Brutalizer on Jarvan. The DPS Jarvan's going to be putting out won't really be any higher than now whatever items he builds from now on, just because his base damages are so high and scale so well with armor penetration. But you know, late game, Renekton, Xin Zhao, they'll just build straight tank. The Orianna ball will be devastating, and Twitch will theoretically be able to be strong and free hitting, given that he hasn't been held down in the early game.
Yeah, we'll see. I mean, Positive Energy's team fight, we saw it against WE, looked absolutely terrifying in that situation. So we'll see if YG can really keep on this aggression that they've started here. And looking good so far. Sizz again be doing a lot of work, coming back with a Sightstone and an Oracles now. Very early for that Oracles. So he really wants to try and make something happen. I mean, you know, he's got his double endurance, he's got his aggression out of the way. Now he's going to get that Ruby Sightstone, and if there's any item that Lee Sin can have that really helps him make plays, it's definitely that Sightstone. Oh, Tidal Wave coming in as well. Sizz going deep. The Sandra in there as well. Ring of Frost. Orianna ball not quite enough there, and Joji getting dumped on as Ollie goes in there as well onto Jarvan. 2 quick kills there for YG, and an absolutely reckless tower dive. I'm not even sure, but beautifully executed there for Young Glory. That looked magic.
Now there is a double split push going on, so there was actually controlled aggression there, Pastry Time. They knew there was only 3 members potentially at that turret. They're just going to try and see if they can get even more of a lead here with this second inner turret.
Probably going to pick up this tier 2. Renekton working on that. Otto's actually already gone sticker. They're getting trapped up as well. Not quite dead. The Ice Shard not ready there to take that one out. But there's the tier 2 turret that they wanted. They're going to back off now. Otto there towards the top. Managed to get Canines out from under that tier 2. Name still working on the bottom turret. Now finally picks it off. So Positive Energy happy to pick up 2 towers here. But YG taking out that tier 2 in mid. So much space for them to move through the center of the map now.
But to what end is Name staying so far away from his teammates this game? I mean, it's 8-0. There's already almost a 5k gold lead coming out from Positive Energy here, just because they've been grouped as 5, just because they've been really moving around the map. Like, it almost feels like the calls aren't being made, or there's a specific reason why Twitch is not grouping at this point. Maybe it's the item threshold or the Blade of the Ruined King, but if they lose any more global objectives before that Blade of the Ruined King is completed, it might not matter.
We'll have to see here. Name just almost feels like he's in desperation farm mode, which is not something you think would need to happen this early on in the game. But YG have really put the pressure on here. We'll see if they can continue going here. Lissandra almost has the Abyssal Scepter finish up now. Just picked up a Blasting one and the Negatron Cloak in there as well. Have to think that Vayne probably got Blade of the Ruined King finish up now, which is a big spike in power. I mean, especially in this particular AD carry matchup, which we've seen quite a bit of in the last few days. There's a big difference between when either of these champions pick up the Blade of the Ruined King, and I'm pretty sure the Dragon's going to win the race to that item.
Traditionally, when you have 2 champs with Blade of the Ruined King, the person who is able to get the first burst of damage down, maybe the person who's in a brush and then gets face checked or activates the Blade of the Ruined King first, wins. But if Vayne specifically has a Blade of the Ruined King against a Blade of the Ruined King for Twitch, and has that pink ward to negate the ability for Twitch to get away with ambush, Vayne should win almost every time.
And there's the Blade of the Ruined King finished up there for Dragon, so things are a go now for that Vayne. I mean, YG, that's a pretty early Blade of the Ruined King at 13 minutes. They're already being quite aggressive in this game. Jarvan with Hex Drinker now up as well for a bit of extra oomph. I mean, Renekton hasn't even finished his Sunfire cap yet. He's close, and I don't know. It's Positive Energy, for somehow, with all this pressure, have just ended up goldless at this point. Because really, it's 13.5 minutes in the game. How much gold are you supposed to have?
And you look at the items here, Jarvan's gone for the second DPS item, the Hex Drinker, which just screams to me why he wants to fight right now.
They really do. I mean, with the way they're playing, it doesn't surprise me. Blue buff being picked up there as well. Again, that very early Oracle still here on Sizz, and some good pink ward coverage there as well. And YG really just taking over the map where they can, especially especially this bottom side, sorry, where they've got 2 towers in the middle, 1 down the bottom. There's so much space for them to move around this Dragon. They're going to pick it up yet again here, virtually uncontested.
It'll be completely uncontested here, Pastry Time. I mean, 5k gold lead at 13 minutes is mammoth. This Dragon, of course, will grow it, but PE in no position to fight. If the Blade of the Ruined King was completed on Twitch, I mean, they could have gone for a very opportunist fight if they got a pick, but otherwise, definitely not, as we see Name farming up towards the top.
Yeah, I mean, Name, again, just, I don't know, shades of old Wei Zhao, it almost feels like. He's just...
Absolutely, it does feel like Season 2 World Championship Wei Zhao here, where he had those really amazing CS values, but it didn't matter because he was never grouped with his team.
Yeah, I mean,
Name finally coming around here, but again, does not have that Blade of the Ruined King completed.
I mean, even if he had the money for it, which he probably does at this point, he really can't afford to go back and lose another turret here. And this tier 2 looks very low here for Positive Energy. Sizz just trying to poke around the side as Lee Sin. I really like that position by there. That's fun to watch. You can see Sizz looking for it, and Love Pro Boys in the perfect spot to follow up with Tidal Wave.
Yeah, the Tidal Wave angle there really good, so I do appreciate that out of vision Tidal Wave potential. You also see that skill shot coming a little bit later if you cast it from out of vision.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of moves in, and then all of a sudden, despite it being a little slow, it's a little too late there once the wave hits you. I mean, not the best siege team here for YG. They're trying to make sure they can get some stuff done there.
It's worth noting the purple minions in the top wave that was pushed out by Name, also making this a very hard siege.
Yep, so Otto is forced to go back there. That's Jarvan recalling there. Almost got his back cancelled, but thankfully managed to make it back to base to go and defend up there towards the top lane.
As the power cord travelled across the map.
Yes, didn't kill him obviously, he had plenty of health for that, but you know, Otto will feel that back in base, but he's where he needs to be now, up in the top lane, pushing that back, and Positive Energy, those minion waves buying them a little more time here, but it's a very low tier 2 towards the bottom lane, and They really just don't have space on this map right now. That's probably the biggest problem. The safest place from the farms are top here. Sizz actually here. Oriano coming through, but actually just missing there. The knockup though coming through is on. K9's now looking to get in there, but Sizz, he wants to get away. He war jumps out. Jingo insta flashes after him, but there's the flash after him as well. Reckon gonna try and turn it around. The damaging from Lee Sin. Massive move there from Sizz as he outplays Xin Zhao. Baited into the Baron pit and then kicked in the face.
And that keeps Positive Energy off the scoreboard here. They are up in terms of objectives. They do have 2 objectives on the board, but no kills.
Now Otto in the top, trying to get the last outer turret down here as well. Man, Sizz, he's got a big chunk of gold to spend now as well, you have to think. Almost speechless after that play. That was very impressive. But really Sizz, I mean, showing, I think, that he understands Lee Sin. That's why he wanted it down the bottom here. Yancer, good frozen tune there. A little bit of damage to Name. Venom cast coming through. I think Name maybe going to get it, but there's Lissandra popping out of the way there with that E. Name flashing after, but immediate flash from Lissandra as well. Now the tidal wave coming. They're going to look for the tower dive. Sona getting dunked on there by Jarvan as the Cataclysm comes in, and already dead as the tower dive coming through. Now the exhaust out onto K9's as well. The Hex Trigger pop there. K9's able to pick that kill up, but here comes Dragon. They're condemned into the wall. Jojo looking to protect it up. Now Jing coming forward as well. A little too aggressive here for YG, I think, and that's going to be 2 kills in about as many seconds there for Positive Energy, finally on the scoreboard.
Absolutely. For once, their aggression is...
Oh, Sizz back again onto K9's. Now going to flick forward there, looking maybe for Renekton, but doesn't quite have his ultimate yet, I don't think. The bubble there popping them up. That's going to keep Jing out of the way for now, and Lee Sin almost finding a line onto K9. Do you have to believe he was going to get that kill if he found that Q?
And importantly, Jojo very low on mana here, so isn't able to further contribute to the skirmish.
Positive Energy pretty much forced to back away from that one. Lee Sin up in the top, going to just continue farming things out here. Went back and got himself a Spirit of the Ancient Golem, by the way. So obviously the mana regen, not his favourite stat in the world because he's energy based, but he'll be happy to have a cost-effective, nice and tanky item for himself.
Yeah, and the combination of that Spirit of the Ancient Golem with the Ninja Tabi is just so much mitigation and health there. It's just a very strong pickup against the Twitch.
And if his job is to dive Twitch, absolutely. And he'll want to be getting work done there. Again, just trying to pressure this turret out. I mean, P really have to commit quite a few people here to actually stop this push, and it's just an outer turret they're protecting this tier 3, so I mean, I think they have to defend it. They really want to try and hold on to as much of their global gold as they can. They've already lost a little too much, but Young Glory relentless in their pressure here, and there's the tower. I mean, Positive Energy, they can't do anything, they have to give that up.
Young Glory just playing such great League of Legends. You have to wonder where this Young Glory's been most of the season. Only 3 wins on the board, but just solid, objective-based League of Legends coming out here, and aggression making it super exciting to watch.
Now Vayne going to rotate up as well. Don't quite have a Zeal finish up there for Vayne, but does pick up red buff as well. Twitch, Blade of the Ruin King also finished here for Name as well, so the items coming out a little more now. In fact, Name, I mean, for all the farming he's been doing, he's actually got a big CS league, which you kind of expect in this situation. I guess at this point it's just a matter of, is that enough right now? Because Name spent a lot of his time trying to outfarm this Vayne, has done so. But I mean, that global goal could be too much. A tidal wave coming in now as well. Twitch back in base. That was Name's waddling back here. Dragon, they're almost getting caught, but a good flash there. But Name in a great spot. Going to pick up that Vayne there as Spray and Pray comes out. YG get completely wiped under that tower here. And so many kills being picked up. A 3-for-3 trade so far. Actually going to go even in amongst it all as Otto and Sizz get themselves out there. But YG, we complimented them on their aggression before. That may have been a little too much.
And they were lucky to get the equal kill trade there. Not ideal because they do have higher levels, they do have more kills on the board, so the gold advantage will come out for Positive Energy there. But at least they're not getting wiped for no reward here.
And Name probably picking up a few assists that he really needs there in gold. I mean, everyone from PE would have picked up quite a bit of much needed gold there. So they're happy to protect that tier 2 turret and win a team fight there, even if it was under turret and even if it was kind of just a trade there as 3 members fall on either side here. Otto now moving in towards a little bit more tanky items, which makes sense. He's got himself a giant spell. Probably going to be building Sunfire Cape would be my guess, but he's got his kind of pick of items. Randuin's Omen would actually be quite good as well. Wouldn't be too surprised to see that come out of Jarvan.
Randuin's Omen is actually a really strong pickup here, which of course with the Chain Vest is probably not going to be, just because if he ults onto Twitch and gets hit, if he's the first target being hit, I believe that Cold Steel auto attack speed passive that comes out of the Warden's Mail on the Randuins does slow down Twitch's attack speed, so that can be really powerful.
Good pickup of Dragon there as well from PE, really just kind of powering themselves back into the game. I mean, they're still quite behind on gold here. You can see the difference, still about 6k between the two. But I mean, Positive Energy, they traded a team fight there in the top lane, protected their tier 2, then rotated down to pick up Dragon. things feeling a little bit better for them right now, but they've got to do that a couple more times here. And I guess the hope is, as all that farming that Name did to kind of abandon his team and lose the objectives that they did, is it worth it here? Because he's got a big CS lead here, over 50 up against this Vayne, but the items still look pretty equal to me, to be perfectly honest.
It's important to note though, like for example, Jarvan's item, his item build will fall off around the 30-35 minute mark, just because he has a lot of mid-game damage items, but doesn't have that tankiness. So there is kind of a window where YG are super strong, and then it will kind of fall away slightly from there. So we'll have to see if they can make advantage of that mid-game prowler they have.
Yeah, I mean, the clock is kind of ticking here for Young Glory. So we'll see if they can kind of make things happen while they need to. Canaans are going to get bubbled up, but just a little bit of poke damage coming through. Still able to defend this tower quite nicely, actually, with Orianna wave clear. Everybody really making sure this turret stays up. I mean, Sizz definitely looking for a dive here on Lee Sin. Has the stats to probably be tanky enough for it to be okay. I like Name's positioning, by the way. He's very far back here. Does not want to get kicked.
He feels confident that he'll get into and engage the moment it starts anyway with that spray and pray range.
Absolutely. He can ambush in as well. Make sure he finds the perfect position. And really Positive Energy doing what they have to do here. Oh, Name thinking about maybe being a little sneaky here. A little bit more out of position now, looking to maybe catch somebody off the side there. Jojo.
He does a reveal, and I believe they've seen him, so that if they're smart here, they can push down without the Twitch damage to protect. But it doesn't take that long to loop around.
No, I mean, again, the wave clear from Orianna with Haunting Guy, Sork Shoes, plus the Athenes as well. Really just chugging down the minions with blue buff as well. I mean, you can see Positive Energy all positioned very aggressively forward here towards their turret. They're trying to protect this for as long as they possibly can, and if YG make a mistake, then they can capitalize.
Important that the slow minion push is underway in the top lane here, so they do have the minions in the right spot. The last time they tried this push, minions were against them. This time, minions working with them.
Young Glory happy to take their time, knowing that knowledge is actually even in the mid, just doing a bit of push there as well. So I like this split pressure here from YG. They know the top lane's going where they want it to. In fact, Name's going to look to initiate very aggressively with the ambush. In fact, there's Blade of the Rune King onto Dragon. There's no vision though as the tumble comes through after the final hour, but that's Jarvan getting out instantly there as the tidal wave comes through. And that's a big win there for Positive Energy. A lot of ultimates used there for YG to no great effect, unfortunately, there. And it looks a little funny to have Twitch initiating, but, you know, he's invisible. They can get that surprise factor, throw the Blade of the Rune King down onto Dragon, and PE kind of reset a little there. If YG come back anytime soon, then those ultimates not going to be available for about a minute and a half. I mean, buying time here at Positive Energy, maybe that's all they need to do in this game.
I think it's important, though, that Twitch has used his spray and pray here, and that is the thing that makes him relevant and scary in fights. So I'd swap Vayne's ultimate for Twitch's any day of the week.
And that's the swap that YG get. They're going to go for it again here. Miniwave on the top, very much pushing on that tier 2 now as well. And YG, they've bought themselves a space here in the siege. In fact, Name getting jumped on there by Otto. He's very low now as well. So if there was ever a time for YG to move in, and Positive Energy, no, they completely back off the tier 2 down the bottom lane.
And they take that objective. The minions keep pushing up top. YG is slowly but surely winning this game, but they haven't got the game breaker, they haven't got the inhibitor or the Baron, or even the vision to be able to pick up Baron here. The one thing you can say, this ward completely naked of wards.
Yeah, this map just not lit up at all here. People are just kind of playing by instincts at this point. With the last little thing that happened in mid there as well, Positive Energy got to feel bad to lose their tier 2. Have to say, hate to harp on it, but Name really not standing in the right spot, it seems like. I mean, he was hanging out in mid, obviously he's waiting for his ult to come back up, so might as well go farm, but almost gets himself killed as a result, as Sizz is going to steal away that red buff very cheekily there as well. Throws a ward over Baron just in case, but everything seems okay for now. And I mean, if Name had got himself killed, you have to think YG might move in for an inhibitor there, but just losing a tier 2, as we've said at Twitch, his farm's great, but he cannot afford to let his team fall too far behind in global gold. And
it's one of those situations, Space Time, where it sounds harsh to go on and on about Name this game, but he kind of brought it on himself by split pushing and doing that 1-4 split, you know, him bottom and the rest of the team in the mid lane. His team trying to defend objectives and him in the top lane. He's put it on himself to carry this game, taking so much empty lane farm. If he makes any mistakes, the rest of his team has kind of been stuck under turrets, stuck in safe locations. They haven't been able to farm to anywhere near his level, so it's on Twitch to do the heavy lifting here.
And Name's got his Phantom Dancer now, so his build is coming along nicely. Looks like YG going to clear out vision around Dragon, realize maybe that's what we want to do here. Try and set up for that objective. Jojo going to steal the enemy blue away as well. So nice bit of movement there from P. Really taking over this map quite nicely here. Sicker there with the oracles, just clearing out wards where they can. And looks like they are going to go set up here. Ooh, Love Cryboy coming in as well. I mean, Positive Energy know that Baron is definitely on the minds of either team here. Looks like they're actually going to get it started though. Jojo even rotating through. Name actually could get caught again. Otto gonna dump on him there. Cataclysm coming through there. Name completely trapped in this one here. Activates Spray and Pray to try and get it done, but Otto 1v1s the Twitch there. And that's gonna be Baron for YG. There's no other way to put that.
Absolutely, just smart brush camping by Otto. His mid-game items right here, the damage from the Sunfire, the damage from the 2 AD items.
Oh, tied away for here. So Lissandra over the top. Big damage down to Jojo as Oriana gets exploded. And now Dragon's going to play massive, massive cleanup. Sika, the only one left alive there up towards the top. And that's 3 quick kills in that team fight. 4 for 0 there, plus the Baron buff as well there for YG. And you said it, Papa, they needed one thing to really break through and get ahead in this game, and they've done it.
They're going to get much more than one here, Pasty Time. The Baron down, Inhibitor will go down here. Although Name is up to try and protect it, does not have Spray and Pray available.
No, thankfully no ultimates available to really initiate on that Twitch, but one Inhibitor is going to go down, maybe rotate for another, but looks like they're just going to play it safe. Wouldn't be too surprised to see them rotate top. Maybe try and push that wave out and get that, but YG really at this point can just rotate through, push out their waves, play safe, and kind of plan their next move with that middle inhibitor down, because the pressure, again, still mounting here for positive energy. And look at that gold difference. Wow, that's really crept up for YG. They're 12k ahead.
12k gold, and the only person on the PE side that won't be smarting for gold is that Twitch, and maybe to a slightly lesser extent Oriana, but big items being completed across the board on the YG side, and positive energy, especially someone like Zinjao here, who's only really got the Locket of the Iron Solari to show for himself, struggling.
Yep, chill building up towards that Aegis as well.
Ghost Blade completed on Jarvan here. If that doesn't scream mid-game, let's smash them, nothing does.
Oh, the PDD special coming out there as Ghost Blade's completed up by Otto. In positive energy, a nice bit of counter push here, able to quickly get down that turret. Although Lissandra may be thinking about saying something about it, decides against it. But YG here, absolutely dominating position here in this game. I mean, positive energy are happy to take out, finally, that outer mid turret, but a small victory here in what is a very, very, very snowballed game in Young Glory's favour. And again, they haven't had too many wins here in the LPL so far in the summer. They'd love to pick up a couple more if they can here. And this Jarvan looks very scary. If Twitch shouldn't be afraid of Otto before, he should be very, very scared now. Oh, good bubble there as well. K9's, I think, in trouble. Renekton, though, very tanky. And YG decide against the dive, but here they come up towards the tier 2 turret. Name going back to base. They're going to pick up a pickaxe. Not quite the last whisper. But positive energy basically forced to give up this tier 2 here. As Name waddles back towards the top lane.
Yeah, not many more turrets to give up, though, Pastry Time. They have to mount a fight here soon, you have to think, which, you know, they have an inhibitor down, the enemy team has Baron, but at some point you're just giving away the game if you're giving away more and more objectives.
I mean, at this point, I think they have to hold one of these 2 inhibitors that are left here, and the pressure from the mid minions pushing in is going to come. The Baron buff's still here for about a quarter of its duration here for Young Glory. So we'll see if Positive Energy can get it done. We've seen that YG are more than happy to dive for. In fact, Lissandra looking deep, going to go in there. There's Frozen Tube used on a Jojo. They want Oriana. Nami in the back, they're doing decent damage. And there's the Zombies activated for Yancer as well. And they're going to chase in here. YG very aggressive. They love Cryboy. Quite low. They're almost going to go down, but not quite there. And just damage aplenty here for Young Glory going in and out of this one. Name's still alive though, but finally goes down. The triple kill coming out there for Vayne. The quadra there for Sona, as they can't quite pick up the rest of it. But the ace it is there for YG. They're going to be able to clean up the rest of the space at this point. The Super Minions riding in for them. And what a great played game there from Young Glory.
And it's just it's a night and day situation from the positive energy we've seen in recent games and the positive energy we saw today. I mean, Name just not grouping with his team, refusing to group with his team, and letting his team give away objective after objective. And then when he grouped, just didn't have the gold or necessarily even made some positioning mistakes as well to ensure that he just really couldn't put the team on his back. And it's just, I don't know how on the 3rd day of a weekend positive energy falls so far behind. But I mean, YG with that Lee Sin pressure, with the Jarvan top, a masterful victory there. They're going to feel great taking down another one of the top teams and bring themselves level on wins to LMQ.
Yeah, and Twitch finally picks up a loss here on this weekend. It seems like he wasn't going to lose, but as he said, Name really couldn't make it happen that game. Of course, if you missed this one or you'd like to catch any of the others that we've been chatting about, feel free to head over to youtube.com/LOL Champ Series. You can check out the Tencent LPL Summer playlist. There's all our VOD coverage in there as well. We are halfway through day 3 here of week 4 for the Tencent LPL Summer. We'll be back shortly for more coverage.